Last time. The insurance folder is still there. I select all 47 clips, plus the 11 months of texts, recordings, bank transfers, and signed confessions. I hold delete. The fairy horn sounds low and final. I watch the progress bar crawl to 100%. Empty trash. Power off. For the first time in a year, I breathe air that doesn't taste like rage. Ava stirs in the car, calls out in her sleep, "Daddy?" I go down the stairs, slide into the driver's seat, kiss the top of her head. "I'm right here, baby girl." Always. The ferry docks. We drive off toward a town where nobody knows our names. Behind us, the sun finishes rising over the water, red and gold and clean. Some stories don't end with screaming or gunshots. Some end with a quiet delete button and the soft click of a door that finally closes forever. I roll the window down and let the salt wind take the last of it. I'm not the man they broke anymore. I'm the man who walked through the fire and came out the other side carrying the only thing that ever mattered. And for the first time in 11 months, I'm free. Thank you for staying until the end. If this story hit you anywhere close to how hard it hit me telling it, do me a favor. Hug the people who would never do this to you. And never, ever open the file. 2:17 a.m. My phone lit up with a video I was never supposed to see. My wife's voice on the other end begging me, "Don't watch it. Delete it right now." I should have listened. Because 37 seconds later, I wasn't a husband anymore. I was a man with nothing left to lose. And a plan that took 11 months to finish. This is the true story of how I made them both pay. Slowly, legally, and in ways they still wake up screaming about. Stay until the end. You won't believe what I did with the Ring camera footage. The phone buzzed so hard it slid off the nightstand and hit the hardwood with a crack. 2:17 a.m., October 14, 2025. Outside, Seattle rain hammered the windows like it was trying to get in. I was already awake. Hadn't slept right in weeks. The job had me on graveyard shifts debugging code for a crypto startup that was bleeding money faster than it made it. Emily said the late hours were killing us. She wasn't wrong. The text was from a number I didn't have saved. Just one line. "Watch this before you go to work tomorrow." Below it, a video file. 0:37 seconds long. I thumbed it open. Dark bedroom. Our bedroom. The familiar creak of the floorboard by the dresser. Emily walked into frame wearing the gray Penn State hoodie she stole from me in college. She was smiling in a way I hadn't seen in years. Then Connor stepped in behind her. My best friend since we were 12. The guy who taught me how to drive stick, who flew in from Denver for our wedding, who FaceTimed me from the hospital when his dad died. He shut the door with his foot. Emily didn't even flinch. I watched them kiss like they'd done it 1,000 times. I watched his hand slide under that hoodie. I watched her whisper something that made him laugh low, the same laugh he used when we were kids and got away with something. The camera was our own Ring indoor cam. The one I installed myself last spring after some porch pirate hit the building. Motion activated. Saves everything to the cloud for th. 30 days. 37 seconds. That's all it took to erase 15 years. I sat on the edge of the bed in my boxers, phone burning in my hand, listening to the rain and the blood in my ears. My daughter Ava was asleep 2 rooms down with her noise machine humming ocean waves. Emily wasn't home, said she was pulling an all-nighter at the hospital. She's an ER nurse. Or was. I don't know anymore. The phone buzzed again. Same unknown number. Another video. Same timestamp, just 2 minutes later. I didn't open it. Not yet. Instead I opened the Ring app. Cloud Library. Last 30 days. There were 47 motion events from our bedroom between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. when I was either at work or crashed on the couch. 47. My thumb hovered over the download all button. Then my real phone rang. Emily's name on the screen. I let it ring twice. 3 times. Answered on 4. Jake? Her voice was small, shaky. Baby, please don't watch whatever they sent you. I can explain. Just, come home tomorrow after your shift. We'll talk. I swear it's not what you think. I stayed quiet so long she started crying. Jake, say something. I finally spoke, voice flat, like I was reading code aloud. 47 clips, M. 47. How many times is not what I think? Silence. Then a whisper, I'm so sorry. She hung up. I looked at the black screen. Then I did the first thing that felt like control in hours. I created a new folder on my desktop. Named it Insurance. I hit download all. While the progress bar crawled, I walked to the safe in the closet, spun the dial, and took out the Glock 43 I swore I'd never need in this city. I wasn't going to shoot anyone. Not tonight. But for the first time in my life, I understood exactly how far a man can fall when everything he loved turns out to be a lie. And I was about to make sure they both learned what happens when you push someone that far. Because revenge doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it just starts with a folder. And ends with 2 people who will never sleep again. The progress bar hit 100% at 3:06 a.m. 47 clips. 11.7 gigabytes. I dragged the whole folder into Insurance and locked it behind 2-factor and a 32-character password I'll take to my grave. Then I opened clip number 2. Same night. Same room. This time the camera caught them full length because Emily had knocked the dresser when she sat on it. Connor's shirt was already off. She was laughing, breathless, saying his name like it tasted better than mine ever did. I paused it at the exact second her wedding ring hit the carpet. I stared at that frozen frame until the image burned behind my eyelids. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. A single text. More coming. Keep watching. I blocked it. Then unblocked it 5 seconds later because I needed to know who hated me enough to do this. Another buzz. Emily this time. Jake, I'm outside the apartment. Let me in. Please. I'm begging you. I walked to the living room window, parted the blinds with 2 fingers. She was standing under the awning in her scrubs, soaked, mascara running like war paint. Hair plastered to her face. No umbrella. Just shaking. She looked up. Saw me. Held up both hands like surrender. I didn't move. She called again. I let it go to voicemail. Message 1, I know you hate me right now. I deserve it. But Ava's asleep in there. Let me in so we can talk where she can't hear. Message 2, 30 seconds later, if you make me stand out here all night I'll freeze, Jake. Please. I closed the blinds. I poured 3 fingers of the Maker's Mark we kept for birthdays and drank it like water. Then I went back to the folder. Clip 7. Different night. October 2nd. Connor carrying her from the hallway to the bed like they were newlyweds. She was wearing the red lace that I bought her for our 10th anniversary. The one she told me didn't fit anymore. I skipped ahead. Clip 18. They were on my side of the bed. Connor had his phone propped against my pillow. Recording. Emily looked straight into it and said, "Tell him this is what a real man feels like." I threw up in the kitchen sink. Quiet, controlled, like I was still trying not to wake Ava. When I came back, there was a new notification. Ring app. Live view. Motion detected, front door. Emily was letting herself in with her key. I heard the deadbolt turn. Heard her kick off her wet Crocs in the entryway. Heard her whisper sob my name. Jake? I sat in the dark on the couch, Glock on the coffee table next to the open laptop glowing like a confession booth. Footsteps down the hall. Slow. Careful. She appeared in the doorway, silhouette against the nightlight in Ava's room. She saw the gun first. Then the screen. Clip 43 was playing on mute. The one where she told him she was leaving me as soon as she figured out the money part. Emily dropped to her knees right there in the hallway. I can explain every single one, she choked out. Just give me a chance. I finally looked at her. Really looked. 47 chances, Em. You already used them all. She crawled closer. Reached for my leg. I stood up, stepped over her, and walked to the bedroom. She scrambled after me. Jake, wait. I shut the door. Locked it. Leaned my forehead against the cold wood and listened to her break on the other side. Then I opened the Ring app one more time. I changed the admin email. Changed the password. Removed her phone from the trusted devices. Every clip was now mine alone. I sat on the edge of our bed, their bed, and opened clip 43 with sound for the first time. That's when I heard the part that turned rage into something colder. Emily's voice, soft, almost tender. Once he signs the new life insurance update next month, it'll all be ours. I paused it. Looked at the date she was talking about. November 8th. 2 weeks away. My beneficiary review was already sitting on the kitchen counter, waiting for my signature. $2 million. Double indemnity for accidental death. I closed the laptop. Emily was still crying against the door. I opened it. She fell forward, caught herself on my shins. I crouched down, lifted her chin so she had to look at me. You want to explain? I asked, voice calm, almost kind. She nodded, tears dripping off her lashes. Good, I said. Because you're going to have plenty of time. Then I told her the new rules. And by the time the sun came up over Puget Sound, she understood one thing perfectly. I wasn't the man she cheated on anymore. I was the man who now owned every second of her betrayal. And I hadn't even started collecting. She sat on the living room floor in her soaked scrubs, knees pulled to her chest, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. The rain had stopped sometime after 4. Seattle was quiet except for the occasional ferry horn and the low hum of the refrigerator. I stood over her holding 2 things. A glass of water. The printed life insurance amendment she'd left on the counter 2 weeks ago. I set the water in front of her. She didn't touch it. Drink, I said. She obeyed like a child. I flipped the insurance packet open to the page with the yellow sign here sticker. $2 million. Accidental death pays double. Beneficiary, Emily Marie Carter. You were waiting on this signature, I said, tapping the line. Then what? Break lines? Overdose I wouldn't notice? Pillow over the face while I'm passed out from night shifts? Her head snapped up. No. God, no, Jake, I swear. Clip 43, timestamp 028. Your exact words, once the new policy's active, accidents happen. Want me to play it again? She folded in half, forehead hitting the carpet, shoulders shaking so hard I thought she'd be sick. I waited. Let the silence do the work. When she could breathe again, I laid out the new rules. My voice never rose. That scared her more than screaming ever could. Rule 1. You do not leave this apartment without my permission. Ever. You quit the hospital today. Text your supervisor you have a family. Emergency. Effective immediately. Rule 2. Your phone is now on the kitchen counter, factory reset, find my disabled. You get a new burner I control. 1 number in it, mine. Rule 3. Ava continues her normal routine, school, ballet, playdates. You smile, you pack lunches, you act like mother of the year. 1 crack in the mask and every person we know gets a link to the highlight reel. Rule 4. You will transfer every dollar from your secret account, The one you thought I didn't know about, into the joint checking by noon. I already have the routing numbers. Rule 5. You will sign whatever I put in front of you for the next 11 months. Quietly. Happily. Without questions. She stared at me like I was speaking a language she'd never heard. Where am I supposed to sleep? She whispered. Guest room. Door stays open. I installed a new camera this morning while you were crying in the hallway. I pointed to the fresh ring stick-up cam aimed right at the bed. Red light blinking. Her face went gray. There's one more rule, I said, softer now. And this is the one that keeps you breathing. I crouched so we were eye level. You are going to help me destroy Connor. Slowly. Completely. The way you two plan to destroy me. And you're going to smile while you do it. She started shaking her head. He'll know something's wrong. He's already texting me. I held up her old iPhone. Screen cracked from when she dropped it outside. 97 new messages from C. Redheart in the last 4 hours. I read one aloud. Baby, why aren't you answering? Did he see it yet? We need to stick to the plan. I locked the screen and slid the phone into my pocket. Tomorrow, I said, you're going to answer him. Exactly how I tell you to. Word for word. She tried one last plea. Jake, I'm still Ava's mom. You can't. I cut her off by opening my laptop and turning it toward her. Folder open. Clip 43 playing on loop. Her own voice saying the insurance words again and again. Every family court J. Judge in King County will watch this on repeat if you fight me, I said. Full custody, supervised visitation, the works. You'll be lucky to see her on holidays. She closed her eyes. A single tear slid off her nose and hit the floor. Say it, I told her. She opened her eyes. They were empty now. Dead. I understand the rules, she whispered. I stood up. Good. Now go take a shower. You smell like the hospital and him. She walked past me like a ghost. While the water ran, I opened a new note on my phone titled Connor, Phase 1 and started typing. By the time she came out wrapped in a towel, hair dripping, I already had his work calendar, his upcoming flights, his brand new OnlyFans girlfriend's Venmo history, and the exact date his divorce would be final. 11 months. That's how long I decided they had left to feel safe. And I was just getting started. Tomorrow morning, Emily would send Connor the text that begins the end of his life. And he'll think it's because she loves him. 7:42 a.m. Ava was at the kitchen island eating oatmeal, swinging her legs, oblivious, singing the new Taylor song under her breath. Emily stood at the counter in fresh jeans and a hoodie, hair still damp, face scrubbed clean of last night's mascara. She looked almost normal. Almost. I slid the burner phone across the granite. Basic flip phone. One outgoing number allowed, Connor's. Open it, I said. She did. Screen glowed cheap green. I'd already typed the message. She only had to hit send. Hey baby red heart. I showed Jake the first clip. He cried, screamed, then packed a bag and left for his mom's house in Tacoma. He said he's done. Wants a divorce. Told me he never wants to see me again. I'm shaking and I can't stop crying, but this is it. We're free. Can you come over tonight after Ava's asleep? I need you so bad right now. Emily stared at the words like they were poison. He'll know it's not me, she whispered. I don't use that many emojis. And I never call him baby. Exactly, I said. He'll think you're so wrecked you're typing like a teenager. Men love feeling like the savior. Send it. Her thumb hovered. I leaned in close enough she could feel my breath on her ear. Every second you hesitate is one more second I consider mailing the entire folder to your mother with a post-it that says, Ask Emily about clip 27. She pressed send. The little envelope icon flew away. 3 dots appeared instantly. Connor, holy shit. On my way. Leaving the office now. Connor, deleting everything on my end just in case. Connor, I love you so much, Em. This is our time now. Emily made a sound like a wounded animal. I took the phone from her limp fingers and typed the next one myself. Pack the red lace one. I want tonight to be the first night of the rest of our lives. Sent. He replied with a single heart eyes emoji and a voice note, 3 seconds of him whispering finally. I let it play on speaker so she could hear the excitement in his voice. Then I pocketed the phone and kissed the top of Ava's head. Have a good day at school, kiddo. Mommy's dropping you off today. Ava looked up, oatmeal on her chin. Is Daddy sick? You said he went to Grandma's. Emily froze. I answered for her. Daddy just needs a couple days to rest, sweetie. Grown-up stuff. He'll be home soon. Ava shrugged and went back to her oatmeal. Emily walked her to the car like a robot. I watched from the window as the Subaru pulled out, then I opened my laptop. Connor was already moving. His work Slack status flipped to out of office, family emergency. His Tesla's location, shared with me since we carpooled to a Seahawks game last year, was doing 84 down I-5 towards Seattle. Estimated arrival, 32 minutes. Perfect. I opened the Ring app and armed every camera in the apartment. Living room. Kitchen. Hallway. Bedroom. Even the one in the guest room where Emily now slept. Then I walked to my bedroom, opened the safe, and took out the ring box I hadn't touched since our 10th anniversary. Inside, the original wedding band I gave her. I slipped it into an evidence envelope along with a single still frame I'd printed from clip 27, the one where she told him she wished Ava had been his. I sealed it. Wrote nothing on the outside. That envelope was going in the mail today. No return address. Sent to Connor's soon-to-be ex-wife in Denver. Phase 1 was officially live. I poured myself coffee, sat on the couch, and waited for the doorbell. When he walked in tonight thinking he'd won. He'd have no idea the game had already ended 11 months ago. And I was the only one who knew the final score. 8:19 p.m. Ava was asleep. White noise machine doing its ocean thing. Emily sat on the couch in the same jeans and hoodie from this morning, hands folded so tight her knuckles were white. I stood behind the kitchen island, out of the Ring camera's main frame, holding the burner phone. Doorbell camera pinged. Connor on the porch holding a bottle of Veuve Clicquot and a stupid grin, hair perfect even in the rain. He was wearing the navy blazer I helped him pick out for his custody hearing last year. Emily looked at me. Eyes pleading one last time. I shook my head once. Showtime. She walked to the door, opened it slow. Connor stepped in like he owned the place, arms already reaching. Baby. She let him hug her. Let him kiss her neck. Let him whisper we did it into her hair. I stayed silent in the shadows. He finally noticed the apartment was darker than usual. Pulled back. Where's all the lights? And why's it so quiet? Emily's voice came out flat, rehearsed. Ava's asleep. Jake's stuff is gone. I can't believe it's real. Connor set the champagne on the counter, cupped her face. Hey. Look at me. It's real. You're free. We're free. He kissed her again. Deeper. Hand sliding down to her waist like he had the right. I stepped out of the kitchen. Connor froze mid-kiss, lips still on her neck. Saw me. The grin melted off his face in slow motion. Jake? His voice cracked like a 15-year-old's. Man, what the hell? I raised the burner phone so he could see the screen. It was open to the Ring live feed, him kissing my wife in my apartment, timestamped, 4K, audio crystal clear. His eyes flicked to the TV on the wall. Black right now, but he knew what it could show. Emily stepped away from him, arms wrapped around herself. Connor tried to laugh it off. Bro, whatever you think you saw. I saw 47 nights, I said. Calm. I heard you plan my accident. I watched you celebrate before I even knew I was dead. His face went the color of old oatmeal. I hit play on the laptop. Volume low, but loud enough. Clip 43 again. Emily's voice, once the new policy's active, accidents happen. Connor lunged for the laptop. I was faster. Closed it, slid it behind my back. He looked at Emily. Tell him it wasn't serious. Tell him we were just venting. She wouldn't meet his eyes. Connor took one step toward the door. I moved to block it. Not aggressive. Just there. Leaving already? I asked. You just got here. We haven't even opened the champagne. His chest rose and fell too fast. Jake, let's talk this out. We've been friends for 23 years, I finished. Long enough for you to know exactly what Emily's allergic to. Long enough to be Ava's godfather. Long enough to wait until I was pulling 60-hour weeks before you crawled into my bed. I pulled the evidence envelope from my back pocket and held it up. Inside this is your wedding ring, Connor. The one Emily took off in clip number 9. And a nice 8x10 still of her telling you she wished Ava was yours. His eyes darted to the envelope like it was a bomb. That went in the mail this afternoon, I said. Express. Signature required. Guess whose wife in Denver had to sign for it at 4:12 p.m.? Connor's knees actually buckled. He caught himself on the back of the couch. I leaned in close enough he could smell the coffee on my breath. You're going to sit down. You. We're going to drink the champagne you brought to celebrate my funeral. And then you're going to help me fix the mess you made. He opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Emily finally spoke, voice barely a whisper. Just do what he says, Connor. He looked at her like she'd grown a second head. I smiled for the first time all day. Welcome to the new rules, old friend. You don't get to leave until I say so. I pointed to the couch. He sat. And that's when phase 2 officially began. 11 months later. October 12, 2026. 5:47 a.m. The sky over Puget Sound is the color of a healing bruise. I'm standing on the deck of the Bainbridge ferry, coffee gone cold in my hand. Ava is asleep below deck in the car, buckled in, headphones on, dreaming whatever 8-year-olds dream now that the nightmares have finally stopped. Behind me, Seattle shrinks. In front of me, a new house, new school, new life. No more night shifts. No more Ring cameras. No more insurance folder. Emily signed the divorce papers exactly as written, full custody to me, 0 alimony, supervised visitation twice a month at a courthouse playroom. She moved into a studio in Tacoma last week. Works nights at a 24-hour diner. Still flinches when a phone camera turns her way. Connor lost everything in order. His ex-wife got the Denver house, the dog, and every penny of the retirement he thought was hidden. His company fired him the day the board saw the anonymous ethics complaint with 4K screenshots attached. Last I heard he was bouncing between couches in Aurora, selling plasma twice a week to cover the child support garnishment. I never raised my voice. Never broke a law. Just moved the pieces one quiet square at a time until their entire world folded in on itself. People keep asking if I'm okay. If I ever loved her. If I miss him. The truth is simpler than that. I loved them both more than I ever admitted. That's why the betrayal cut so deep. And that's why the revenge had to be perfect. I opened the phone one. Last time. The insurance folder is still there. I select all 47 clips, plus the 11 months of texts, recordings, bank transfers, and signed confessions. I hold delete. The ferry horn sounds low and final. I watch the progress bar crawl to 100%. Empty trash. Power off. For the first time in a year, I breathe air that doesn't taste like rage. Ava stirs in the car, calls out in her sleep, "Daddy?" I go down the stairs, slide into the driver's seat, kiss the top of her head. "I'm right here, baby girl." Always. The ferry docks. We drive off toward a town where nobody knows our names. Behind us, the sun finishes rising over the water, red and gold and clean. Some stories don't end with screaming or gunshots. Some end with a quiet delete button and the soft click of a door that finally closes forever. I roll the window down and let the salt wind take the last of it. I'm not the man they broke anymore. I'm the man who walked through the fire and came out the other side carrying the only thing that ever mattered. And for the first time in 11 months, I'm free. Thank you for staying until the end. If this story hit you anywhere close to how hard it hit me telling it, do me a favor. Hug the people who would never do this to you. And never, ever open the file. If you stayed until this sunrise with me, thank you. This one cut deep, and I felt every second of it with you. This is Intiqara Stories, where the revenge is cold, the truth is brutal, and the endings always hit exactly where they're supposed to. If this story left you speechless, do 3 things before you go. Hit that like button so this story finds the next person who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Intiqara Stories and turn on the bell, the next one is already waiting. Drop one word in the comments, deleted. I'll know you made it to the end. Thank you for trusting me with your time. I'll see you in the next betrayal. This is Intiqara Stories.